Real quick, like, subscribe, leave a comment. The comments actually really help. I know it's stupid. I know everybody says it, but it's really, really like what drives the entire channel. And I'm just really building right now, so I could use the support and the help. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. You know what to do. All right, so as I look over and see the photo, I wanted to start this by first talking about the Charlie Kirk situation. A few people have asked me about it, and I did want to run a video on it. You know, there's just so many out there, so I figure I'll just talk about this. Um, in the Bible, it talks about the devil not being able to create in the way that God does. It can't just create blessings for you and give you that positive, that happy, that helpful stuff. It's twisted. It's the opposite. It's always the negative. So when you see a movie like Snake Eyes, done in the 90s, I mean, by the Charlie was 5, so let's say they were writing it when he was born. Now, if you look at him as a Christian martyr, then of course the devil knows his life story, or a demon, whoever you want to say, passed down the information. They know the future, they know a lot, and they just used it. It wasn't created, it wasn't invented, it was a story, someone's life. And they took it, they knew of it, and then they made it into a movie for somebody to use. As disgusting as that is, that's the reality of it. I mean, we're in this together. Everyone should pick a side. Most people don't. And then when you realize by sitting on that fence for a very long time, you did pick a side. So when it's all said and done and you're not happy with the outcome, a few of us out here are trying to pull you. You know, do what you want to do. Free will is free will just for that reason. But I'll keep trying and I hope a few of you do too. If that message got across, good. If not, hey, what do you got to lose anyway, right? Enjoy the show. Let's have some fun, get some popcorn going. And as always, whoever you were, whatever you want to be, let's figure this out so we can be somebody better at least by tomorrow. If not, I don't know, what does it matter?
Got it. Okay, I might have just cracked the code as to why thousands of bells were removed, hundreds of thousands of bells were removed throughout Europe and a lot of the world around the same time. Now, the mainstream official explanation for this just doesn't really hold too much water. I mean, something about efficiency or the old ways in with the new, out with the old. But there may be something else going on here. And by the way, you can look at like hundreds of pictures like this of thousands of bells. They got rid of them all, and let's dig into maybe why. And what does this have to do with Spider-Man 3? Stay tuned. Did you know that there's an ancient kind of mythological thought that bells repel demons and that the devil hates bells? And even that copper bells in most temples, the sound emanating from them, copper kills the surrounding microbacteria as well as activates the 7 centers of the body? We're talking resonant sound waves. We're talking Nikola Tesla energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, the idea that bells repel and paralyze demons stems from widespread folklore and religious traditions across cultures, across thousands of years, across the world. Now, the idea is that resonant sound can drive away demonic forces and create a spiritually protected space. Think of a singing bowl. Now, do you remember what Venom's kryptonite was? What the weakness of Venom from Spider-Man was? Supersonic noises, such as the ringing of church bells. And what was Venom? A demonic, evil force that tried to mind control Spider-Man and take over his consciousness. And you can go watch a A-list Hollywood depiction of this happening in Spider-Man 3 when he rings the church bell and Venom cannot withstand it. So were ancient bells removed because they want more demonic activity?
Tell the truth. If I walk around like this and just say nothing, how many people are just gonna believe that I'm just crazy and let me go live my life? Like, I live in Southern California. There is so many crazy people outside. I'll be normal. They'll probably just be like, "Hey, come in, sit down," welcome me into their cardboard house. So, I don't know about bells. I mean, the whole world is frequencies. It's all about sounds, vibrations. In the beginning, God spoke the word, and the word was good. They're saying now that stars are probably energy vibrations that would have come off of a word frequency. So, I mean, if all of that is true, then it does make sense. There's all these small kernels of truth that lead you to the bigger picture. But when you look back at it in a small way and you're like, oh, they're taking the bells. That's so dumb. That's nothing. That's probably stupid, idiotic. When you really think about it and dig deeper, you're like, oh crap, that makes sense. That actually does make sense. Oh man, maybe we do need to get those back. I mean, people, instead of thinking the whole, I ain't got all the answers, I know everything, we need to start thinking, just, I don't know. Let's figure it out.
Cynthia Erivo was playing Jesus at the Hollywood Bowl when viewers noticed something strange. Look at her hands. Do they look human to you? And before you say it's just a camera trick or bad angle, this isn't the first time she's been seen like this. So what's really going
Dude, those hands are half the size of her body. That is insane. But I don't know if you've ever seen videos of Chris Brown when he's playing basketball and his hand literally extends out, or they show it on Space Jams when you see Jordan do it, and then in real life when he was playing ball and they slowed it down, you could see his arm extending out. I don't know if that's a species of some sort of alien, it's a camera trick, or something that's been here for a while and we just don't know about it. But yeah, that looks pretty obvious. Either that or honestly, I'm just dumb and that's Ozempic and she's skinny and she has nails on.
You have to maybe he gets some aggressive civic leaders and he would do that because he understood it was important. But where he talked about Pope Francis, he is that something which is going you have to maybe he
Does anybody else remember when that, I can't even describe what she looked like. She looked female, but an alien was at the UN Council. That, I mean, she was an alien and she looked like some sort of being that was as real as can be, just an alien. Um, yeah, I want to say that's a hat and a bad angle, and it's just a camera from far away, but they're not supposed to wear hats, and that looks like a pig being. I don't know. What do you think it is? I don't know.
I was fucking outed. Jim Carrey called me up last week. I talked to him for 5.5 hours. He's like begging me to like get a deal with Q. Like he's afraid of the fucking brackets. I'm like, and it's just like yammering on with the crap, but like not owning up or doing anything fucking meaningful. Meanwhile, just lying to everybody. Guys, you are fucking cowards. You're going down. You're gonna fucking die. That's it. You're gonna die. If you ate kids, you're gonna fucking die.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, that was Cappy. Cappy was really big on speaking out about the kids. He even said if he were to go, that a video would be released as a dead man switch, and there was a video of children dressed like Amazon slaves serving wine. It was horrible. No one knows for sure if that came from him or what it was even about. It was highly edited. I mean, I don't know. That one runs deep. He's no longer with us because he allegedly committed sus, which is exactly what it sounds like. Because he was thrown, I guess you want to say, over the bridge and hit by a truck immediately and died on the spot. And people like T. Hanks allegedly, immediately tweeted, there's some trash out there on the Highway 60, go pick it up. And these are the people that, if you look into his stuff on Twitter, like when he posts children's clothing being left behind, saying, I wonder what the story is by that. Why is it left there? How did it get left? Who left it and the reasons? It's almost like allegedly, like and the killer has his. If you ever seen Dexter and you seen his blood slides, that's what it looks like. And I mean that stuff goes really deep. I mean there's a reason why you can go to some of these sites and a T-shirt is $10,000 when the same material, same look is only 2-3 bucks. It's not because you're buying this shirt. But yeah, I mean that stuff goes really deep, and a lot of people pay their lives for it. Even a step further on this Cappy one, um, there people online figured out that there's a member of the family that you can't even type in his name online because it refuses to even admit that he exists. And then the fit flat earther realized that he looks exactly like him. So it makes you wonder why he's not in that family anymore. Or if, he paid that price for talking, changed his name to do it, and that's why he's not here anymore. And this is all allegedly. I mean, I wish I could go into it further, but YT will flag this in a minute. I'll be shadow banned and you'll never hear another word out of me. But yeah, check into it.
Proof that we live in a simulation. His beard literally glitched. Did you see it? Let's watch that again. Right here, it just disappeared. Now that's a real life glitch if I've ever seen one. So you tell me, do we live in the Matrix?
Yeah, I really want to say that it was his jaw moving. Maybe he let out a breath or something like that. But if you look in close, it jumped down an inch. Easy. Probably more. I mean, it disappeared. Yeah, that looked as obvious as can be, but maybe it was a glitch. Maybe it was just something wrong. I don't know.
You won't believe this. AI just created living viruses, and some of them are deadlier than anything nature created. I know this sounds like science fiction, but it's not. This is a study where researchers successfully taught AI to write the genetic code for entirely new life forms. And here's how they did it. They took two AI models called Evo 1 and Evo 2. These aren't your typical chatbots. These are genome language models that can read your entire DNA. These models were built using transformer architecture, the same technology behind ChatGPT. So they fed these AIs the genetic blueprint of over 2 million viruses, fine-tuned them, and then asked the models, design me a virus that can hunt and eliminate E. coli bacteria. And the AI didn't just copy existing viruses, it invented completely new genetic sequences, DNA codes that had never existed in 3.8 billion years of evolution. And out of the thousands of AI-generated designs, the scientists picked 302 of the most promising ones, synthesized the actual DNA in a lab, and then brought these digital viruses to life. The results? 16 of these AI-created viruses were not only alive and functional, but some of these were even more effective than the original virus they were based on. One of the viruses, called Evo PHI-69, completely dominated natural viruses in head-to-head competition by up to 65 times. And when they tested against antibiotic-resistant bacteria, the AI viruses succeeded where natural ones completely failed, rapidly overcoming resistance that had stumped evolution for millions of years. So we've officially entered the era where AI doesn't just predict biology, it creates it. Follow and I'll keep you posted.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. What point are we just gonna say, maybe we need to slow this down for a minute? That seems like a nightmare to me, but yeah, we need better viruses, of course. We need stuff to kill us quicker, faster, and better. That's what AI is good for.
Some of my friends call me Charlie, some of my friends call me Chuck.
It's your action, you got your superhero, and very funny. Of course, you were in the film, and there's a surprise twist regarding...
I'm a man. It's okay.
No, that's not the surprise.
I wanted to come on your show and let's surprise you out.
How tall are you?
I'm only like 5'9 and a half. Like that's really it. Like
5'9", 5'10", that's fine.
Yeah, that's not freakish, is it?
No,
But then
that's
I
not
put
the
these
issue
shoes
here.
on and it's like, yeah, I become
6 feet or
somewhat
better, yeah.
of a boy-she.
6 feet or
Somewhat
better, yeah.
of a boy-she. Boy-she. You and I are the same, perfect genetic specimens. Think of how beautiful our children could be. They would be the best of both of us.
The bombshell star admits she's always learning when it comes to parenting, including what pronouns to use for her child Jackson, who was assigned male at birth.
Thank you so much to the World Economic Forum for this award. The world is incredibly overpopulated. And I am a UN messenger of peace.
They named you Woman of the Year.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Men dress like women, which, you know, usually you have to really encourage a man to do that. And these boys did not need encouragement.
These are
Yeah.
the pictures of the festivity.
Yes, you could maybe think that was the Academy Awards, but...
And the Oscar goes to?
No, I had massive plastic surgery and I needed to heal from it. I fell to my knees and cried like a girl.
How do you get your legs so shiny? They named you Woman of the Year. That's remarkable.
I always thought she was just kind of butch, but I mean, it makes sense. And to be honest, we need to start believing people when they tell you what they are, who they are, when they say it flat out in your face. Believe it. Take it for what it is. I don't got to say anything she said at all.
McDonald's, we're coming for you. I think this nation is about to uncover one of the largest human trafficking to human cannibalistic rings this world has ever known. And it all leads back to McDonald's. Y'all remember Darius Cosley, right? They linked the tunnel from his situation at the Black Rock Community Center back to the McDonald's that his girlfriend worked at, the baby mama worked at. Keanu Reeves goes in for an interview at a Cracker Barrel. She gets done at the interview, calls her mom immediately afterwards. She steps outside, lets her mom know it didn't really vibe right. She doesn't think the interview went too well. She said, I'm going to use the restroom real quick and then hit the road because it's a 33-mile drive back home. Her mom said, fine. They get off the phone. She did mention to her mother that John Gacy, the manager who interviewed her at Cracker Barrel, asked her some pretty unsettling questions about her COVID-19 vaccination and whether she was an organ donor.
Hold up. John Gacy? Ain't that the one dude's name from back in the day? John Wayne Gacy? She should have known something was up right away. I would have got up out of there.
So after hours pass and her mom doesn't hear her, she starts calling and frantically looking for her daughter. The authorities show up and they see on the cameras her walking back into the Cracker Barrel, entering the restroom, but never walking out. Fast forward to today in a shocking twist, a case that has haunted Detroit for days now. Keanu Reeves has been found alive over 900 miles from home. Reeves, who vanished after a job interview at Cracker Barrel restaurant, was discovered bound with rope and duct tape in the back of a refrigerated delivery van headed to Lopez Foods in Oklahoma, a major meat supplier for McDonald's. The vehicle was stopped by Oklahoma State Police for a busted taillight. Inside, officers made the chilling discovery. Kiana, disoriented but alive, was immediately rushed to the hospital and is now in stable condition. The driver, 50-year-old Daniel Martinez, was arrested at the scene and is now facing kidnapping charges. Martinez, who has no criminal history, insists he had no idea Kiana was in the back of his van. He told the investigators he was simply making routine meat deliveries. The case has left authorities baffled. How did Kiana end up across state lines so quickly? And how did nobody notice her being transported in a commercial food shipment van? Reeves told police she remembers entering the restroom at the Cracker Barrel. Then everything went dark. I was washing my hands. The lights shut off. That's the last thing I remember. She reportedly told detectives. Her family is relieved she's been found alive, but with more questions than answers. The mystery surrounding her disappearance is far from over. Investigators are now turning their attention back to Michigan, where many believe the truth is still hiding in plain sight. It's called McDonald's. It's on every block, every neighborhood, in every town, every city. There is a link to this, and I bet you there's tunnels that lead from every McDonald's to every church, to every school, to every parish, to every Catholic school. Yep, it's all connected. To every lodge.
That has to be terrifying. One of the most scariest things that could possibly happen to you. You're washing your hands, and that's it. Lights out, blackness. And you wake up to an officer who's gently slapping your face, telling you to wake up, what happened, what's going on, and all you want to know is where am I and what the hell happened to me. 900 miles away in the back of a truck, they found her being driven off. Now, she was on her way to a meat packing plant. I'm not saying for sure that she was going to become the meat and get packed, but if you look into the studies, they're finding a lot of human DNA in that meat. And there are, allegedly rabbis out there who have been recorded saying that they've been feeding the meat to the Gentiles. Whether that is just them doing it, or if you listen to Russia, who is saying that they have proof, Putin's been saying he has proof that American citizens have been fed American citizens. Who knows if that's homeless, children, people disappear all the time. Maybe we're just getting too fat and they needed to do it better, or if it's something much deeper and worse than that. There's a movie, The Golden Child. In the movie, he refuses to eat the food that they brought him because the food had blood in it and it was, tainting him if he did. And he was trying to survive off of a branch that he had with him, some leaves. And he was starving. But he knew if he put that in his body, he wouldn't be, the same again. Now, what is it doing to us? Mad cow disease came because we were feeding cows to cows. What happens when we become cannibals?
And Charles Lyell is considered to be the founding father of modern geology, and according to his own words, his bias was to free the science from Moses. And this guy, I just now found out, was a Freemason at the Apollo University Lodge in the United Kingdom. The other guy, James Hutton, was a Freemason at the Canongate Lodge. He is considered the father of geology, and then they give rise to people like Charles Darwin. Their theories of the old Earth are crucial because Darwin's going to come along who is going to say that all life has a common ancestor. But Charles Darwin wasn't the first one to coin that concept. His grandfather, Erasmus Darwin, someone who was also in the same secret society at Canongate Lodge. Does that sound familiar? It should, because James Hutton was the same lodge, the same guy, the one that says, yeah, the earth is old. Canongate Lodge, United Kingdom. Canongate Lodge, United Kingdom. All three of them a part of the same Royal Society, even though they say Darwin wasn't a Mason or that there's no evidence of that. His sons were, his grandfather was, and he was a fellow of the Royal Society, which I didn't realize this was a secret society. It's about to go a lot deeper. We have someone else that I came across that was also a fellow of the Royal Society, because when you're talking about these people, evolution and eugenics go hand in hand. And one of the guys I came across that was also a part of that same Royal Society was a man named Francis Galton, the creator of the eugenics concept. Why did I find him? Because he's a cousin of Charles Darwin. So one does the evolution lie, the other one does the eugenics lie, the belief that we should improve the genetic quality of a human population by preventing the ones they deemed to be inferior people or races from reproducing while promoting the reproduction of the so-called superior races and genes. They used the word races. It was a racist thing. But Crowley, he believed in an elite group of superior beings. This is in alignment with eugenics, who had the right to live without law, and the rest of humanity, meanwhile, were to be slaves and serve these super beings' will. And he wrote, kindness and consciousness and altruism, those are drawbacks to the progress of humanity, he says. Instead, the elite super beings should dominate the weak and less fit, exploit them, and if necessary, them. Compassion is the vice of kings. He stamped down the wretched and the weak. And they were both, Mr. Francis Galton and Aleister Crowley, from Warwickshire, England. Same hometown. We're starting to see how connected these people are who have been influenced by the same powers of darkness.
Isn't it interesting that his name is Lyell? They always put it in their names. There's a YT channel, My Lunch Breaks, got some real good stuff in it. Always talks about how AI is redoing history. If you notice, his grandfather's name is Erase Must, like Erase Must. Like, all the names are always there. They always tell you, but I mean, it's up to you to understand it. You got eyes to see or ears to hear, is what the Bible say. But also, Crowley, you look at him, he's talking about people with mental deficiencies. He looks like he has a mental deficiency. Like you would have to snip him because he is like, isn't it always the weirdest mongoloids who be in the front talking about this stuff? I mean, And eugenics, that's the stuff that got Germany into a lot of trouble. I mean, yeah, but he lived in Italy and was a part of that. But anyway, yeah, yeah. Well, that's it, everybody. I hope you learned something new, and if you didn't, I wasn't trying to teach you anyway. So, um, yeah, I try to have some fun. I try to explain some things that I might have picked up along the way, but I'm a little Crowley myself, as in, so don't believe everything I say. I would blame it on my eugenics, but I've had a rough life. Yeah, it's some too much pop off, but yeah. All right.